The most dangerous war that we're living in right now is the war on the belief that we're separate. Dear humanity, our identities are our costumes. The core is the same. Religion, race, politics, degrees, they are all costumes we are wearing, but the same life beats underneath. And yet, we cling to these costumes as if they are who we are. We defend them, fight for them, build entire lives around them, and then wonder why the world feels so separated. You are not your religion. You are not your passport. You are not your political position. And you are definitely not your degree. These are roles you are playing, not the truth of who you really are. So when chaos happens, when the systems you believed in start shaking, you feel like you're collapsing, not because you're weak, but because you built your sense of self on something that was never stable to begin with. Something that can be taken away, challenged, or threatened, and that will keep you in fear. Just like a tree whose roots are not really grounded into earth, in connection with the rest of the ecosystem, any wild or small, big wind will take it down. And most people right now are living like that tree, disconnected from their roots, holding onto identities instead of truth, and calling that stability. Above the ground, the trees look separate. They look unique and different. However, below the ground, their roots are one network. They support one another through a highly intelligent system. Nature does not operate through separation. Only humans insist on it. And then we suffer of the consequences of a system we keep reinforcing every single day by the way we think, we speak, and identify. We say we want peace, but we are deeply attached to the very identities that require opposition to exist. Because identity, by design, creates us and them. And as long as you need another to define who you are, you will always participate in division, whether you admit it or not. So no, this is not a geopolitical war only. This is a war on your awareness, on your consciousness, on your humanity. A system that feeds on your identification, your emotional reactions, your need to belong to something external so you don't have to face who you are internally. The more you are attached to those costumes, the easier you are to control. The easier it is to tell you who to hate, who to fear, and what to defend. And most people don't even realize it's happening. They think they are thinking for themselves, while repeating narratives that were handed to them. They think they are choosing sides, while being moved like pieces in a game they don't even see. Because the truth is simple and uncomfortable. If you don't know who you are, and if you don't know who you are beyond those identities, then you are easily led by it. But that moment, you actually stop, question, and look beyond the label, something shifts. The moment you see yourself beyond the costume, the entire structure starts to crack, because you can no longer be controlled in the same way you were when you were operating from fear or identification. So ask yourself, without escaping it, who am I without any of this? Without my name, my background, my beliefs, my roles? And what am I here to do if none of those things define me? Not as a philosophical question, but as something real enough to sit with in silence. But you won't hear the answer if you're constantly consuming noise, because the noise is not accidental. It is designed to keep you distracted, reactive, and disconnected from yourself. Every piece of information you take in is shaping you, whether you're aware of it or not. So clean your eyes, clean your ears, clean your heart. Step away from what's feeding your fear, outrage, and division. Not to ignore reality, but to actually see it clearly, because you cannot see truth through distortion. Return to your body, to your nature, to real connection, to community, to spaces where you're not performing from an identity, but simply being. And understand this clearly. What is happening right now will only intensify, not because the world is ending, but because illusions are collapsing. Those beliefs are collapsing, they're surfacing to the water. And if your sense of self is built on those illusions, on those beliefs, then yes, it will feel like everything is falling apart. So root yourself now, not in ideology, not in sides, not in labels, but in something that cannot be taken away from you. Awareness, presence, humility, love, connection. The part of you that exists before the identity came and will remain after it. Because when enough people remember that, the entire structure of division loses its power. And what replaces it is not sameness, but something far more intelligent. A world where differences can exist without separation. And that starts with you being willing to see beyond the costume. Thank you.